Good morning, everyone. This is Saurabh Kose, Associate Professor, ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga, Punjab. I welcome all the audience to the today's session of patient counseling and clinical communication skills. As you know, nowadays during COVID pandemic, it is one of the greatest time to understand the need for the patient counseling and to identify the outcome of effective patient counseling. Wherever we talk about communication skills, verbal and non-verbal communication skills are required by a good patient counselor. And here today we will discuss about the various steps in patient counseling process. We'll identify the barriers and various methodologies and strategies to overcome it. We'll list the main points of medication use, which may be discussed during the counseling methodology or the process. So, whenever we do the counseling, we require certain sets of skills. The question arises, what is patient counseling? So, it's a process which refers of providing information, advice, assistance to help patients use their medications appropriately, information, advice, treatment, which may be a patient representation to the patient relative or assistant, or it may include also information verbally and non-verbally. The documentation and preparation of patient information leaflet, which are very advantageous and beneficial in special situation patients. And there are a lot of effective benefits of the patient counseling session, such as patient is able to understand the medicines, dose, route, time, adherence, advantages, therapeutic outcomes. And there is also importance of communication skills. Here I have used the word clinical communication skills. Whereas the communication within the patient as well as with the nursing staff, physician, physiotherapist, dietitian, all medicals and paramedicals, medicals and paramedicals staff. The language, tone, volume, speed, proximity, verbal, non-verbal communication, eye contact, facial expression, and the various steps to be followed. There should be some good qualities of a counselor should be there. He or she should be a good listener. A counselor should be flexible. A counselor should be empathetic. A counselor should be non-judgmental. Should have tolerating behavior, be tolerant. And the counselor must communicate effectively and confidently. So preparing the session, opening the session, counseling content, and whereas when the last point comes is the closing the session. About the drug, everything one by one we will go up. So हिंदी में कहा जाता है रोगी परामर्श या संचार कौशल, लोक व्यवहार, communication. In our daily life also we do communication. हम लोग अपने दैनिक दिनचर्या में भी communication का कार्य करते हैं. वो हमारे घर वालों के साथ होता है, हमारे कार्य क्षेत्र में होता है, हमारे पड़ोस में होता है, हमारे समाज में होता है, और वर्बल और नॉन वर्बल, मौखिक, लिखित, verbal, written, etc. types are over there. In a typical setup of a hospital, you will see there are medicos, there are online consultation nowadays. There are a lot of case studies discussed online and focusing the emphasis group of drugs used such as antibiotics, antipyretics, analgesics, various dosage forms, emulsion, suspension, liquid, semi-solid, solid, various routes, oral, sublingual, intramuscular, intravenous, etc. So one by one we will discuss. So if we talk about the patient design, a patient enters a hospital, patient जब भी जो मरीज होता है अस्पताल में आता है with the sign and symptoms, go to the outpatient department, पर्ची कटवाता है, prescription, afterwards go to a particular ward where a physician is attending the patients, and after on the basis of the sign and symptoms and the confirmational laboratory reports, the patient is diagnosed with some disease, and vital signs monitoring, blood pressure is over there, pulse rate, respiratory rate, pulse oximetry, etc. are done, and on that basis the patient is finally announced as disease of XYZ origin. It may be anything. Okay. And afterwards, the patient is start taking medication. It may be of two types. It may be inside the hospital or outside the hospital. If the laboratory parameter and the condition of the patient is not that much good, then the patient is admitted based upon the laboratory parameter and the clinicians or physicians' experience. And if the situation is okay, subacute or acute, then the patient can take treatment at home on the basis of direction of the physician. Here the consideration comes cost, adherence, treatment, any kind of consequences which starts like treatment failure, increased chance of hospitalization, medical, non-medical expenditure, or decreased quality of life. And at the home, when someone is taking medications, so person should know the name, strength of the medication, the reason why it is prescribed, expected duration of treatment, expected benefit of treatment, possible adverse effect, possible medication dietary interaction, advice on correct storage. If a missed dose is there or polypharmacy, special monitoring requirement, blood test or revisit to the doctor, it is suggested. So this is a patient journey. Nowadays, during COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen that the teleconsultation is also over there. So this is how a group of consultants takes place care of the patient from various intensive care units or the wards, emergency department, casualties. This is a cascade meshwork network where you will see the manager, senior doctor, record, medical record department, relatives, patient, physiotherapist, pharmacist, dietitian, ward nurse, head nurse, junior doctor, etc. So what comes as a counselor in the dispensing cycle, you receive a prescription as a pharmacist and you check out, interpret the prescription, dose, route, patient name, diagnosis, and the generic or the brand, and the post you get up medicines from your shelves, and ultimately you particularly recheck it and you make a mark into your record and after it you go particularly for the issuing that medicines to the patient, and at that time you do the counseling, and in that part you tell about each and everything, how, when, what, how much, missed dose, etc. things comes up. So from this is the cycle which goes on with every patient continuously, right? So a pharmacist, while have been concerning with the counseling part inside the hospital during ward rounds, also has to take care of the patient. So at the opening, presentable pleasantries, exchange of greeting should be there. The patient should not feel agitated with your behavior or with your kind of attributes. So the prescription drugs are 45%. And what are prescription? Prescription is a written medical order, and which can be written by a registered medical practitioner, veterinarian, physician, clinician, dentist. Okay. Second drug category is non-prescription drugs, which is 55% in total. That's also called as over-the-counter, which can be prescribed by the pharmacist also at community setup, hospital setup, online setup, as well as the other churches, Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras and generic stores. When we talk about the World Health Organization, they predicted 8-star pharmacist qualities should be there in a pharmacist. A pharmacist should be leader, decision maker, lifelong learner, researcher, manager, caregiver, teacher, and the last most thing comes is the communicator. So this is one of the, we will see the process a communicator takes place. So communication is a very basic step inside the this counseling process. Pharmacist duty, drug distribution, procurement, storage, and particularly continuing professional learning, and the patient counseling is denoted in the drug information center inside the hospital setup. Patient counseling area is denoted. So counseling is based on entirely the communication. So you can do counseling into two places inside the hospital: outpatient and inpatient. Inpatient is also called as bedside counseling, whereas third type of counseling is with the help of pharmaceutical aids such as patient information leaflets or patient education material. And communication in pharmacy practice is verbal by mouth, non-verbal body language, hand movements, eye contact, or emergency medical services by call 108, 104, or emergency casualty situation where an emergency medical physician EMP calls and give the instructions to the residents. So in verbal communication, a pharmacist has to communicate, or a counselor has to communicate with medical professionals, with staff, with patient, with specialist, with administration, society, and the co-workers. So specifically watching over the non-verbal communication, facial expressions, vocal tone, and your body posture, it must be in a good space. Your distance, proximity, hand gestures, eye contact should be proper. And the typical communication process consists of three things. Sender means one who sends messages. Second person is the coder. Coder is not a person, but is a way of communication, a catalyst, which denotes your send messages, such as patient information leaflet. You can use pictograms. You can use several medication adherence devices such as Pill Pro, or for particularly the geriatric patients. They have the tendency of forgetfulness to take the medications on time. So specifically, a medicine box must be put before their beneath their pillow at the night time. If they have any medication requirement, they can take it up. And the third one is the receiver. Ultimately, receiver is the beneficiary or the patient who is taking this medicines. So listening is an art. If you listen, you are silent at that time. And if you are silent at that time, you are observing, you are gathering the information from the patient. So listening is an art. You need to shut your mouth and open your ears and eyes and observation with the patient, so that you can get empathetic, sympathetic response from the patient, and patient is more open to you. So message, code, translation, picture, image, graph, color, anything it may be, you can use from patient point of view to generate the thing. Okay. And the patient may ask a counselor about the medicine, dose, route. It may be any missed dose or any kind of polypharmacy, over-the-counter drug, any suspected allergies, or the generic drugs. Non-verbal communication: clarity, pitch, volume, proximity, speed, speech, pauses. This all are very significant. Like breaking a bad news, such as death, or any kind of chronic disease such as cancer, AIDS, HIV, or COVID. Okay. Written communications: interdepartmental. A counselor has to mails, departmental memorandums, newsletters, schedules, roster, duty charts, monthly, quarterly reports, research study. This all comes up. The communication is typically of two types: non-verbal and verbal, based on the communication channels: oral, written, and particularly based upon the style and purpose: formal, informal. Oral is face-to-face and distance. It will be video call also nowadays. And there are several kind of, I told that a systematic way or called process of the communication: sender, receiver, channel, receiver, feedback. And there are several kind of barriers to in the counseling process: the patient with visual impairment, hearing impairment, or in expression, or certainly suffering from any kind of neurological disease or disorders which lead to a particular set of problems. So Communication is the key. Formal communication, informal, one-way, two-way, visual, telecommunication are the things. Now the question is, what is patient counseling? It is providing the information, education, communication, advice, assistance to the patient, which is a requirement because they need to know how the medicines work. And at that time, we need to give certain kind of directions to take medicines. Like before meal, after adherence, 3 days, 7 days, say 15 days, a particular setup of I would say that duration for medication adherence are there. Vitamin supplements or multivitamins or any therapy, diet related therapy. Suppose in case of hypertension, dietary approaches to stop hypertension are over there. So dash diet and a diet pyramid. Certainly, any revisit any kind of confusion in the brand name or the drug name. So medication error arises, such as Lassa drugs, look alike, sound alike. Then the next thing comes, that's why recommended settings is computer operated physician entry nowadays. So if it is computer operated physician entry, there is less chance of certain kind of errors which leads to the handwriting problem. And medication adherence, associated use of medication, potential precautions, contraindication, drug food interaction, storage related problem like cold boxes, refrigerator, ice line refrigerator, ice packs, this must be there. Any question concerns, understanding of management of medications, and encouragement to the patient, how counselor should do. As per the patient design, type of patient, we need to see that for whom we are giving medicines, what are the symptoms, and what are the time frame for that symptoms which is present in the patient. What is the clinical action already taken from patient side, such as self-medication. Nowadays, in the 21st century, everybody have internet connection and online digital access, so that they try to do some self-therapy. And in that self-therapy part, they have the tendency that we will go up within this way or part. And there's the role of pharmacist in patient counseling. Like pharmacist is the ultimate person who at last give the medicine, hand over the medicines from the community, retail, wholesale, hospital pharmacy, online pharmacy, or other types of pharmacy. So how to take the medicine, how much to take means quantity, how long to take for time, and its medicine related problems, if any. Like there are 8 kind of medicine related problems or drug related problems, like adverse effects, side effects, overdose, contraindication, adverse drug reaction, or allergies, etc. So counseling gives the benefits, like you can understand the therapy to the patient. You can make him or her stress relief, anxiety part will be removed, a better companion in terms of relationship with the patients, increased assertiveness, and etc. are over there. So there are various steps of the patient counseling, like preparing for the session, opening for the session, counseling content, and specifically the part of closing. So in the objective of the patient counseling is specifically to understand patient each and everything. Okay. Now there are several kind of medications in which special precaution has to be given while administering the medication, such as eye drops, ear drops, inhalers, nasal sprays, or specifically patches are over there, or liquids, injections, ointments, creams are over there. So why I'm telling this thing, because in a one setup of life, when a patient take any medications in a wrong manner, ultimately it leads to a problem. So in this segmented part, we will see that one to one, what is the role of the patient. If suppose patient is everything, he is able to or she is able to do the things by own, there is no requirement of the counselors. But sometimes the counselors are required to particularly do the counseling. Okay. And in certain cases, wrist splint, cervical collar supports, lumbar support, crab bandage in hand, crab bandage in foot, we need to give a specific kind of instructions that may lead to the particular setup of counseling points. So when it comes to the particular setup of a patient where we are giving communication via medication, suppose say particularly in asthmatic patients you are using this inhalers. Okay, so this condition which leads to a specific use of inhalers, what is the route? We need to remove the cap, hold the inhaler upright like you can see in the picture of inhaler, and particularly use a spacer, a hollow plastic chamber particularly, to filter the medicine between the inhaler and your mouth. The chamber ultimately protects your throat from irritation of the medicine. Stand or sit up straight, shake the inhaler, tilt your head back slightly, breathe out all the way, put the inhaler in your mouth, press down on the inhaler quickly to release the medicine as you start to breathe slowly. Breathe in slowly for 3 to 5 seconds. Hold your breath for 10 seconds to allow medicines to go deeply into your lungs. Breathe out slowly. Repeat these puffs as directed by your physician. Then wait 1 minute before taking the second puff. Do not forget rinsing your mouth, particularly with water, and gargling with water. Spit out the water after use. And this particularly prevents a certain 1% chance of infection in the mouth due to steroids. So this is how. Then another you will see nasal sprays are over there, liquid, semi-solid injections, ointments. So rota heller, or particularly a lot of things are over there regarding the medicine, such as in diabetes cases, insulin. In drug counseling points, in hypertension, if we take diuretics, beta blockers, AC inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, or particularly the alpha blockers, have to be particularly given probability. Whereas when we talk about this is the stepwise presentation that inhaler must be used, that I already discussed. And specifically when it comes to the part of the this patient design, and if the patient is having acute or subacute problem, and patient can be treated within with the this thing called as over the counter drugs or over the counter medicines called non prescription medicines. So we need to see that patient's current medical condition called symptoms, and we need to ask the patient what right now the patient is consuming certain kind of polypharmacy may occur, such as we can say that specifically the patient may be taking any herbal medicine or herbal product, home remedy, and particularly current prescription drugs if any taking, symptoms, duration of the complaint, chief complaints particularly, and medication allergies in the past, and if I have consulted to any healthcare professional in the previous time. Then multi-tablet kits can be given, particularly like H. pylori kit. You have seen H. pylori kit, particularly in case of medication, prescription drugs we see. So what H. pylori kit contains? It contains two separate tablets, capsules of antibiotics, BD morning after meal, anti-amoebic BD after meal, and PPI proton pump inhibitors. So particularly PPI has to be taken empty stomach in the morning, and in the evening also empty stomach before meals. And antibiotics after meals has to be taken, so called as particularly after the meal, and as well as anti-amoebic has to be taken after the meals. So H. pylori is considered with the infection of peptic ulcers, and include with the triple therapy for H. pylori infection. So a patient may forget to, in India, 99.9% the tendency, or worldwide the tendency is that after having the meals, we should consume the medications, right? But several medications has to be taken before meals also. So that in case of H. pylori triple therapy infection, that PPI has to be taken empty stomach, okay? So in this segmented part, I am telling particularly that what is advantageous about the medication therapy we can tell to patient, and the patient will be more than happy to receive. Let us take one example of COVID-19 medicines nowadays, which is used. So before going to medicines, there are certain items which are used, such as pulse oximeter. So, if we have to do a patient counseling for a COVID-19 patient, what we have to tell is that we need to check the oxygen saturation every 4 to 6 hours. And in case the oxygen saturation falls below 90, the report should be made to the family physician or to the hospital. Then tablet paracetamol. So there are 2 to 3 doses available, single ascending dose of paracetamol, 500 mg, 650 mg, and 1 gram. 1 gram is used in case of chikungunya, whereas 500 mg is used below weight category of 50 kg, and above 50 kg, 650 mg paracetamol must be used. So the paracetamol tablet should be used when body temperature rises more than 100°F. Next is tablet ivermectin, and its dose is 12 mg, and preferably it has to be used more than age of 60 years and have comorbid conditions. One tablet in a day after meals for consecutively 6 days. Then next thing comes is tablet azithromycin. Tablet azithromycin 500 mg, one tablet after meals for consecutively 5 days has to be taken. Then certain immunosuppressants should be taken. Zinc should be taken, and before meal it should be taken. Vitamin C for consecutive BD 5 days, and specifically tablet vitamin D, one tablet in a week for consecutive 4 weeks, or certain other things like gargles, medicated gargles, iodine povidone gargles. Then steam vaporizer via vaporizer machine should be taken, and then specifically some other chances of things should be recorded. So in a patient counseling, we used to say avoid people's isolation is required, and particularly several other kind of things which has to be taken up. And the high affinity of viral infection from one place to one person to another person is there. So that's why the movement should be stopped, and the lead developers and the vaccines availability, potential treatment agent should be used for COVID-19. Okay, so particularly some consultation with the physicians should be done, whereas when it is a case of a prescription medicines. Then the another example of some medicines is like Gynikit also, and one tablet of fluconazole and azithromycin and sarkindazole are available. So it depends patient to patient. Okay, so asthmatic patients use of inhaler, diabetic patient use of insulin and glucometer, and particularly in hypertensive patients use of sphygmomanometer and stethoscope, cell blood glucose monitoring, and cell blood pressure monitoring has to be done. And particularly the patients specific situations where the mental problem arises with the patients, so at that time we need to see. And patient using appliances such as medical devices, pacemakers, epileptic patients with skin complaints, skin and BD dermatology may have irritation and social stigma, such as in the case of acne vulgaris and leprosy. Patients on drug abuse and patients who are terminally ill, these are the special cases. So first is the human psychology, that a psychiatrist, what they used to do, they try to understand the psychology of the person. So in our case, when we are a counselor, we need to understand the psychology of the patient, and previous experiences of the counselor, either in the past the counselor has such kind of situations, and then we need to assess the patient situation, and we need to contemplate a tentative course of action. We need to inquire the patient health status and recommendation, and we need to provide the information regarding the medications using patient information leaflets. They are produced either by the manufacturer or pharmacist for the benefit of the patients and are universally accepted because these PILs do affect patient health outcomes. So, speaking very genuinely, communication is the key process in healthcare provision. It not only provides the foundation for diagnosis and treatment, but it is also closely associated with the therapeutic index and outcomes. And patient can be more happy, and the amount of information they receive, and the information that given is often sometimes misunderstood by the patient. So in that time, the things can be mug up by the patient. So packet insert, disease specific or product specific, a lot of importance, educational, promotional, company, doctor, pharmacy, NGO, government, environmental level patient information leaflets are available. What are the various factors that may influence the communication process? Is the interviewer, internal factors, previous experiences, attitudes, value, cultural, biodiversity, heritage. It means like the particular set of a counselor who have the number of years of experience handling patient, bedside counseling, isolated counseling, diet counseling, one-to-one counseling, etc. type of counselings. Secondary thing which comes up is the verbal expression, language, and language barrier. So vernacular language, specifically if I'm sitting in Punjab state, so Punjabi language. If I am in Maharashtra, Marathi. If I am in Tamil Nadu, Tamil. If I am in Kerala, then Malayalam. If I am in Germany, German language. If I am at so at every, I would say that part of the world where the languages are spoken, if you use regional or vernacular language with the patient, it is more competent to understand each other sympathetically, empathetically, and medically. And particularly the non-verbal expressions and verbal expressions plays an important role. Later on, I'm going to discuss body movements, postures, hand movements, eye contact, stare, look, glance, the way we shake hands with the patient with warmth and interest. Then, if there is some environmental factors such as noise pollution, light, privacy, distance, temperature may also affect this counseling process. So, particularly, we need to see that specifically environmental should be conducted for proper interaction between the patient and the counselor or a pharmacist. There should be privacy and enough time for patient interaction. Environmental barriers such as lack of privacy or furniture that creates physical barriers between patient and the counselors, and it can prevent effective communication. So environmental barriers are examples of physical barriers. Then the second thing as a barrier comes is the patient, which is written over at the right side of the screen. Patient-based barrier, a patient may not be much interested to listen, and she may have some disadvantage, may not know your language, may feel shy, inhibited, irritated. These barriers must be overcome with patience at that part of side of the counselor. However, the patient is reluctant about accepting advice. It is better to leave him, or not insist on giving advice. System-based barriers, particularly, and provider-based barriers, semiotics, sensory, pain, fear, stress, anxiety. So quality of life and the behavioral factors are also over there, such as white coat hypertension is one of the example. There are medicos and paramedicos wearing apron and white coat entering inside the working in the periphery radius of the hospital or the clinical area or the clinics, private clinics, nursing homes. The patient may fear watching them. So this is emotional factor walks up. Then the this is one another example at the community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy. You will see that the patient is over there, and if you have certain kind of braques or the rods, that ultimately is one of the thing where you cannot communicate with the patients. But if it is open, so there is I would say certainly a space to communicate with the patient, open communication. Then the bedside counseling has to be done very effectively. So starting one by one, coming on the non-verbal communication. Suppose the patient is person is sitting with crossed legs and crossed hands, so it is a sign in a non-verbal communication which is tell that the patient is giving the person is giving not certain kind of entry to enter his or her personal domain to communicate, to eye contact or to listen. So at that time we need to break that ice wall between the counselor and the patient. So there are various non-verbal signals like restless, uneasy facial expression, which can indicate or I indicate level of attention, honesty of the two-way communication. We need to work on behavior and impact. And in verbal communication, written material, and particularly we are using lot of materials which can be spoken. Already I have told language should be regional, vernacular, and patient understand. If the patient is illiterate, unable to follow your instructions or see, so you need to take care of the patient relative, patient assistant, patient representative at the hospital level or at the community level. There should be interactive communication, two-way communication. Listening skills is one of the skills which leads to gather the information, source documents, raw documents. If it is not there, listening skills are not there, ultimately you are not going to communicate properly with the patient. So it's at this part you should have the listening capability. So sometimes the patient may be too much talkative, and if the patient is too much talkative, again it is one of the advantages for to you that sometimes he or she may tell the things which is not indicated in the past medical history. So this is one of the advantage. So stages in verbal communication, we need to introduce yourself. You need to particularly tell yourself that I am the one who is going to take care of your health related aspect, and specifically afterwards you need to tell that particularly what are the various steps which are required in this clinical pharmacy practice setup, and why are doing the verbal communication. Counselor should have the good communication skills, warmth, and effectivity in the rationale of choosing the words for the interaction. It should be empathetic, sympathetic, and should identify the patient groups who are receiving the counseling. Okay, and it should be a two-way communication. We should open it very clearly with very good language, tone, volume, speed, proximity, and particularly it is called as the first phase of counseling. For information gathering, the pharmacist or the counselor should introduce him or herself to the patient, greet them by the name, patient title, and pronouncing the name as the colleague. If there is any problem, if you are not able to pronounce or understand the name of the person beneficiary receiving the counseling, you particularly should tell that a specific part of counseling should be done. And it is best to use the titles such as Miss, Mrs., Mr., or particularly kind of the titles we can give of the first name. And the counselor should identify the purpose of the session very clearly. Let me state for example, say, hello, Mr. Shrikant. I am Saurabh Kose. I am your pharmacist. Would like to tell you about your medicines. Do you have a few minutes to spend with me? Patients who visit community pharmacies are often in a hurry to go home with the medications. And in this situation, we have seen that mentally we should prepare with the certain kind of patient information leaflets so that it can be handed over to the patient. And certainly, the kind of energy we are passing to the patient about the illness or about the disease state and about the medication and the symptoms the patient may be experiencing may be able to know that particularly there is a clarification. Okay, and the state of the closer, so connection, reconnection, opening, counseling content, patient information leaflet, and certainly reaching to the reflex actions. The counseling content should tell about the name, strength of medicine, the reason why it has to be prescribed, how much to take the medication, expected duration of treatment, expected benefit of treatment, possible adverse effects, and advise on storage conditions. That should be given. And at the closing, at the closing level, you need to revise the drug therapy of the part you all over you have told. Specifically, you need to essentially check the patient's understanding, and during the discussion some of the patient's informations may not be clear, revise it. And at the last, ask to the patient, do you have any questions? Before the final closure, and if the time permits, in a logical order, summarize a revise thing you told already to the patient, and exchange of mail ID, connect number, WhatsApp number, the way you can help them to make via video, audio, or some messages, or the use of pictograms like in the WhatsApp chat. You also can see if sun is there, it means in the morning time. If moon is there in the night time, is afternoon. Likewise, you can use certain kind of pictograms. And with the use of pictograms in patient information leaflet, you can also use the syllables. So this is called as counseling aids. So consumer medicine information, CMI, or consumer product information, CPI. These are the packaging inserts which goes inside the drug, or you see sopramycin cream, or you see morphine coil, or you see iodine solution. Okay, inside that is the consumer product information. So specifically at the next level, you need to prepare for the specific patient. Okay, and there may be treatment failure, increased chances of hospitalization, disease state progression, say acute to subacute and subacute to chronic level, increased medical, non-medical expenditure, stay of hospital, decreased quality of life. So there may be some adverse situations also with the patient. At that time, the patient logically, mentally, physically, and I would say that may not be able to connect with you. So we need to do the development part within it, and particularly about the diet counseling should be also taken up. So particularly in a conclusion note, I want to say that patient counseling is an essential component of clinical pharmacy practice, hospital pharmacy practice, community pharmacy practice. And counseling enhances the patient understanding of their illness and its treatment, and may improve adherence and therapeutic outcome. It allows pharmacists to gain first-hand knowledge of medication used from the patient's perspective. So in that segmented part, we need to particularly see the things. So I hope this is one of the thing